Right Honorable Dr. Edouard Ngirente, Prime Minister of the Republic of Rwanda, Honorable Minister of Education, Training and Innovation from Namibia, Excellence Ministre des Enseignements du Niger, Honorable Minister of Education, Science and Technology from Tanzania, Ministers representing the government of Rwanda and government institutions, Capa Secretary General and Secretariat, as well as members of the Capa, heads of and representatives of polytechnic and technical universities, the youth here present, distinguished delegates, ladies and gentlemen, good morning again. I'm very pleased to welcome you to this 2019 edition of the Commonwealth Association of Technical Universities and Polytechnics in Africa, Capa, International Conference, where we look at how to build partnerships for the promotion of TVET for innovation, entrepreneurship, and youth employment in Africa. This official opening ceremony follows the youth forum that took place yesterday, because obviously we have learned that we cannot discuss of the youth without the youth. And it also follows the opening panel discussion this morning that called indeed for a paradigm shift in terms of advancing TVET and placing TVET where it belongs, meaning at the center of national development priorities, and as a key way to ensure that the youth that is coming to the labor force is indeed skilled, and can also self-employ. This is going to be, of course, the official opening that will lead to more general and insight and in-depth discussions this coming afternoon and this coming days. Without further ado, and for her welcome remarks, I would like to welcome the Secretary General of Capa, Mrs. Jaho Esfal, who's going to, as the host of the conference, officially welcome us to this opening ceremony. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Honorable Prime Minister. Please allow me to give heartfelt welcome from the Commonwealth Association of Technical Universities and Polytechnics in Africa. Our host minister, Education Minister, Honorable Eugene Mutumura, who is ably being represented by the Youth Minister of Rwanda, Honorable Rosemary Mabazi, all other ministers from the Republic of Rwanda, distinguished ministers from Niger, from Namibia, and from Tanzania. Thank you very much for honoring our invitation on this very important 41st anniversary of Capa International Conference. The Deputy Chair of the Executive Board of Capa, the executive members of the Executive Board of the Capa, executive distinguished members, the distinguished members of Capa. And when I say that, I mean salam alaikum, I mean bonjour, I mean good morning to Africa. Capa, as we all know, had been in existence for 41 years. We celebrated our 40th anniversary last year in Abuja. And we are honored, deeply honored, really, having the Republic of Rwanda as the newest member country of Capa. And this was last year, to host such a beautiful, formidable event that has impressed and is inspiring all. I had some few chats with some colleagues, and I start to pity the next government that is going to host Capa conference, because the Republic of Rwanda has set the bar so high that, yes, it's a big task for the incoming host country. Thank you very much, the Republic of Rwanda, but thank you very much, the local organizing committee that has been headed, and he had worked tirelessly to bring up this formidable forum. Dr. Gashumba, I salute you. It's my great honor and privilege on behalf of the Executive Board of Capa, and of course on my own humble self as the Secretary General, the members of the Capa Secretariat, and the local organizing committee, to welcome you all to this forum. The conference is coming at a time when Africa is confronted with numerous problems of youth unemployment due to policy inadequacies or lack of innovations in TVET and entrepreneurship. Hence, the theme of this year's conference, Building Partnerships for the Promotion of TVET for Innovation, Entrepreneurship, and Youth Employment in Africa. Honorable Prime Minister, honorable ministers present, you will agree with me that the theme is relevant as it is all-encompassing in addressing the problem of youth in Africa. We have invited distinguished personalities and experts in these areas who will deliver captivating statements which shall form the basis for further discussions during the course of the week. I think we have all had our appetites whet this morning when we have the magnificent forum of guest speakers that had started, really. And I wouldn't even say started, they have really touched the basis for us as to what the theme of the conference is. Africa, according to the World Bank, talked about the escalating figure of youth unemployment. And the figure is not going down. In other words, we are being addressed as stakeholders to address the situation and see how youth could be engaged meaningfully. And I think all of you would understand and would appreciate that a lot of studies had been carried out, and it's all directing towards youth employment and how this could be curbed. The results of many of these studies would indicate that skill acquisition is the answer to youth employment. Getting technical education, getting the skills, acquiring the skills is not enough. We started the discussion yesterday, and we all realized at the forum that everybody accepted that yes, it's good to have the skills to make yourself employable, whether it is to seek for employment or to get self-employed. But then in addition to that, we need the entrepreneurial skills. At the end of the day, whatever or wherever you find yourself, as far as the area of specialization is concerned, then you will be able to market those skills and give employment and also create employment. So entrepreneurship really is critical in really moving forward, despite the technical qualifications that are acquired by this youth. Honorable Prime Minister, honorable ministers present, distinguished guests, youth delegates present, there is growing realization that TVET skills is necessary together with entrepreneurship. And for entrepreneurship to flourish, a reasonable infrastructure of service institutions in financial, administrative, legal, and educational fields are needed. Unfortunately, these factors are not adequately provided for in Africa. It is therefore necessary to analyze critically the political and the economic conditions. The reason why the Ministerial Educational Forum has been institutionalized in Capa's international conferences. The first, and that was the maiden, was in Abuja last year, and we are to see the second one later on this afternoon, and we are going to be hosted by our Honorable Minister, Madam Rosemary, at the Educational Ministerial Forum later on today. Because yes, we realize we've been doing very well in our own little corners as African countries, that we have been talking about Tibet, but many a times we come back and see that the Tibet that we are talking about is more of rhetorics than action. And some of these answers are always attributed to lack of political will. In most of the cases, they go back to say, yes, this is what we want to do, but then we have so many constraints. Notably, we always talk about the funding issue of it. And that is why Capa, at the board level, sat down, looked at it, and said, look, we need to involve the governments, African governments, and as a result, the Ministerial Education Forum was institutionalized starting from last year. The Capa Executive Board has also resolved to transform Capa into an all-inclusive Tibet organization. Each time you talk about Capa and you start with Commonwealth Association, it's like, well, what about if I'm not a member of the Commonwealth? So therefore, I cannot be a member of Capa. And then this is all because of history. That when Capa was formed back in 1977 in Accra, Ghana, it was like the education ministers from Commonwealth countries that came together and decided on a platform that would alleviate and push Tibet forward, and that was how Capa was formed. But it has evolved. The membership of Capa should not only be for English-speaking countries, and as a result, the executive board has resolved to make it an all-inclusive, because now we are not talking about Commonwealth countries, we're talking about Pan-African, Africa in general, and as a result, it is now going to be an African association, an African movement. Capa, in addition, has also uniquely connected with the Africa Union Agenda 2063 vision, the Africa we want. And the priorities highlighted by the African Union Commission have been embraced by Capa. Capa has also deepened the relationship and collaboration to process and implement the Continental Strategy on Tibet, the CESAR, and also the Youth Skills Initiative of the African Union Commission. We are also championing the establishment and harmonization of competency-based education and training. We had very effective discussions this morning on CBET. And as an African association, it is our mandate to see how CBET can be propelled in Africa. We have seen that many countries, shall I say few countries, are doing very well in the promotion of CBET because it has been realized how effective it is for youth to have hands-on and to go out with skills to be able to make themselves employable. With over 200 member institutions as members of Capa, spreading across 19 African countries, Capa demonstrates a well-integrated and formidable profile of technical universities, polytechnics, and technical colleges that are oriented towards knowledge and technical skills acquisition for the world of work. The working ambit of Capa institution is centrally among students and trainees that are predominantly youth. As a curtain raiser, and I want to use this opportunity before I end my statement, I have highlighted issues that are key to the theme of this conference, that Capa is working with major stakeholders to find solutions to and the way forward for TVET in Africa. We salute the President of Rwanda, His Excellency Paul Kagame, the government of Rwanda for hosting us. Thank you very much, Prime Minister, on behalf of the Capa Secretariat. This conference is an important milestone for the Capa fraternity in not only welcoming Rwanda into the family of Capa, like I said before, but we also strongly believe that this conference is a total commitment to making TVET achieve much impact on economic development in Africa. My appreciation on behalf of the Capa Secretariat and of course of the Executive Board, I want to appreciate all member countries, I would say all member country governments, present and not, for the support of TVET. The government officials of TVET boards and organizations that are present here, the member institutions, formidable member institutions, without them, there is no Capa. We thank you for your commitment and for your support throughout these 4 decades of Capa's existence. Heads of institutions, principals, rectors, VCs, we thank you very much for your patronage and also for your continuous and unflinching support to Capa. Stakeholders and partners, the AUC, Youth Division, the GIZ, the Standard Group, we thank you very much. We appreciate you for your support and for contributing to this formidable ambience that we find ourselves in today. Hamjambo, thank you. Merci. I'm grateful.